So, good day everyone. I'm Clarence Mark Martinez and I'm here to teach you on how to use the WEKA app made by the University of Waikato on how to use it in classifying app. So, in our example, just gonna use an example of a research paper by Sir Edwin Arboleda, namely classification of coffee bean species using image processing, artificial neural network, and K nearest neighbors. So this paper, you can search it in Google Scholar and get the whole paper for free. As I said before in my previous video that Google Scholar is one of the best websites in order to get the research papers for free if it's available. So there, I downloaded it, but you can download the paper here in this section, which is in the researchgate.net. So here, we have the paper that says that it used artificial neural network and K nearest neighbors, as a classifying app to classify the different species of coffee beans. So here in this paper, he used 60 training and 20 testing, which will be tackled later on. So, all in all, we have 80 samples for three different coffee bean samples or coffee bean species, namely Robusta, Excelsia, and Liberca. So, for now, we must first install the WEKA app. So, how do we install it? We will go to this link, which I will put in the description box below. So here, you will just go to the stable version and to the Windows if you're using Windows, or in the Mac OS if you're using Apple devices. So we're just gonna click here to download the .exe file itself. But since I downloaded it and installed it, I will not download it now. So here, after you download it, you must install it and you're good to go. So then, after I installed it, so I have the dataset of this research paper of Sir Edwin Arboleda. So here is our dataset. So we have 80 samples here, which is as I said before. So first, in order for WEKA app to recognize this Excel file, we will first convert it into .csv by saving as, because on saving only just saving the current progress of the file itself, but saving as converts also the file type of the Excel. But since I saved it, so we can just try it again. So in my case, I'll just save it in the desktop. So you will just pick the CSV comma delimited to save it as a CSV file in order for WEKA app to recognize it. We'll just say it and I'm gonna replace it. So there. So here you can see that the file type of the Excel file, or the Excel SX as we may know, is converted into CSV file type. So next we will go to WEKA app, which is a very simple UI. So in order for WEKA app to use it to use the CSV file type to classify, we will convert it into ARFF by using the ARFF viewer. So we will just open the CSV file that we just converted before. You saw this. But since I converted it before, so you will see that this file type is ARFF. You can go here to CSV data files. So there, you can see that this CSV is present. So we're just gonna open it, and after that you can see the whole CSV file, which is in a tabular form. So we're just gonna save it as an ARFF file here in our desktop. So save. But since I save it before, so we're just gonna overwrite the before the ARFF file that I saved before. So we're just gonna close this since since we converted the CSV file to ARFF. Close. And next we're gonna go to Explorer there, and we're gonna open the ARFF file. You must be cautious since the classifier only accepts ARFF file type. So we're just gonna open this, open, and as you can see, we can visualize the data in a graph form. So you can see there by clicking the visualize all, and we can see the 5 perimeters of this data set. Sorry. So next we will go to the classify. There. So here in classify, first we will gonna change these folds into 4. So 4. Since we are having 80, 80, 80, 80 pieces. So since it's divided into 60 training and 20 testing, as I said before. So 80 divided by 4 is 20. So we have 20 increments. So next, since we have set the cross validation folds into 4, we will now choose from these classifiers the best one. But how do we know if that classifier is the best one out of them all? So we will just hit start. In this case, I first choose the bias net. So we hit start there. And we can see that the bias net has the 91.7695 correctly classified instances. It's good since it's higher than 90%. But we can find a better one. So it's just like a trial and error to get the highest of them all. So in order to gain accuracy on how to get the best one, you can try them one by one. So that there we use the naive Bayes multinomial text, which has the 32.9218, which is very low accuracy. So next, updatable, the naive Bayes updatable 92.5926, which is definitely higher than the bias net, which is the 91.7695. So next, we can go to trees since it the order doesn't matter since we're just gonna click them one by one and check which has the highest accuracy out of them all. So here in that decision stump, we have 63.786, which is low. Next is the Hofding tree that has 92.5926, which is I think the same as the naive Bayes updatable. J48 is 94.6502. So this is the highest so far out of the 6 classifiers. So next is the random forest. So there are some instances that the classifier is slow because it checks each single one of the dataset. So here we have for the random forest at 93.4156. For the random tree, we have 64.6091, which is probably low. And you can check these classifiers. For our last two, we can check, for example, multi-scheme. You will know that the classifier is applicable to your dataset if it's in the black form. If it's in a gray one, like this additive regression, it is not available classifier for your dataset. Just like that. You cannot start it. But since, for example, in the trees like J48, the Hofding tree is in black color, you can use it as a classifier. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, out of the 9 that I have tested, I saw that the trees that J48 is the highest accuracy, which has the 94.6502% of correctly classified instances. So with this, we can put it in the paper that this classifier classified our dataset with the highest accuracy out of them all. So this WEKA up is very beneficial for our classify for classifying different data sets. So I think that you learned something from this video on how to use WEKA efficiently on being a classifying app and as a classifier. So I think that's all in my video. So I hope you learned something and I hope that you will use all the learnings that I've said in this video. So I think that's all and goodbye and thank you and have a nice day.